When the going gets tough, the tough drop back. At least that's the case with LeVar Stoney, the Richmond mayor who hoped next year to win the office won by his political rabbi, Terry McAuliffe, nearly a decade ago on his second try. That office, Virginia's governorship. But the early polling and the early money didn't favor Stoney, so he's yielding the Democratic nomination in 2025 to Abigail Spanberger, the congresswoman who's run and won in competitive districts anchored in the Richmond suburbs and those of outer Northern Virginia. She's now the Democrats' presumed nominee for governor, and for the most part, the grassroots are thrilled. To her party, Spanberger's the next new thing, the best chance for Democrats to win back the governorship and to elect Virginia's first female governor. The Republicans will have something to say about that. They'll likely choose as their nominee Attorney General Jason Miyares or Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. Both are firsts. Miyares is the first Hispanic elected statewide in Virginia. Earl Sears is the first woman and first Black woman to win statewide here. Those distinctions would endure if either is elected governor. But back to LeVar Stoney. Rather than risk losing for governor to Spanberger, Stoney is now risking losing for lieutenant governor. In deferring to Spanberger, Stoney said he'd instead run for the Democratic nomination for lieutenant governor. It's a part-time office with few responsibilities. The lieutenant governor is the presiding officer of the Virginia Senate. The LG is required to cast a tie-breaking vote on many matters. The office is also a great way for an ambitious politician to maintain his or her visibility, presumably if a lieutenant governor wants to run for governor. Let's say Stoney is successful next year, that he survives the primary and wins in the fall. He'd try to claim dibs on the nomination for governor 4 years hence. Perhaps his motto in his second go for governor would be first in line for 2029. But the Democratic field for LG is crowded. There are at least 3 other announced candidates, State Senators Ghazala Hashmi of Chesterfield and Aaron Rouse of Virginia Beach, and Babur Latif, a member of the Prince William County School Board. Others could get in, including Delegate Sam Rasool of Roanoke. Funny thing is that had Stoney announced for lieutenant governor, say, 2 months ago, when most of his opponents were busy with the annual legislative session, there's a good chance he'd have cleared the field, pinning down the nomination. Now it's anyone's guess who prevails. There are lots of cross currents. Hashmi and Stoney share a base in the Richmond area that could bust up important votes for both. Rouse and Stoney are candidates of color. That too could bust up important votes for both. And Latif is from Northern Virginia. That could put a lot of votes up there out of reach for everyone but Latif. If that's not complicated, then give some thought to the Democratic contest for Attorney General. That could be interesting with perhaps 3 candidates. And don't forget the Republicans. They may have to sort out all 3 nominations, governor, lieutenant governor, and Attorney General. It's no wonder they call the statewide elections in Virginia the main event. For the Richmond Times-Dispatch, this is Jeff Shapiro.